DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life.
Now, here he is, the one, the only.
Well, here I'm again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they can take home an extra $100. And this is the word right here.
Groucho will talk to our first couple right after we hear this important message from our sponsor.
In the old days, you had to shift gears with clumsy controls like this. Wasn't easy. Later, the gear shift moved up in the world to the steering column. And then automatic transmissions brought complicated dials and levers that were impressive, but sometimes confusing. But now, here's the quickest, smoothest, easiest method of drive selection ever invented. DeSoto's great new push-button driving. A positive mechanical control. To put the car in any driving range, just push a button and go. DeSoto push-button driving is safer, too. It's out of children's reach, and it's designed so you can't make a mistake. Push-button driving is easier and safer. And to see just how fast and smooth it is, watch this professional stunt driver. Now, push-button driving is such an obvious improvement. Competing cars will imitate it next year or the year after. But DeSoto has push-button driving now. So why wait? Tomorrow, drive a beautiful new DeSoto with push-button driving. You can enjoy the best this summer. Drive and price a DeSoto tomorrow.
Groucho, Cellar Door Crockett and Charles Snow are on deck, so folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Celador Crockett and Charles Snow. What kind of a name is Celador?
A cellar door is a door to a cellar.
Oh, you were named after a cellar door. Why were you named after the door in the cellar?
Well, my mama already had 9 babies, and so she told my sister Margaret that she could name me, and she was going to
You
college.
mean your mother was sick of the whole thing, huh?
Yes. And my sister Margaret was going to college, and this college professor told her that 2 of the most beautiful sounding words in the English language were the words cellar and door. So she named me Cellar Door.
Suppose you'd have turned out to be a boy. Would your name have been Attic Door?
My sister was going to name me Rat Trap.
Why, were you a little mouse at the time?
Well, this same professor told her that the 2 most dramatic words in the English language were the words rat and trap, so praise be I was born a girl.
Yes. Makes me happy, too. Your name is Charlie Snow, huh?
Charles Snow.
How tall are you, Charlie?
5'2".
It's the first time we've ever had 5 feet of snow in L.A. Are you pretty sick of that joke, Charlie?
I've heard something like that before. We've had a lot of fun.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Have you? That's
What sort of work do you do?
I'm a watchmaker.
Oh, I thought you were doing stick-ups. Why are you wearing 2 watches? Don't you trust either one of them?
Well, Groucho, you're a comedian. You tell
No, wait a
jokes.
minute. That's debatable.
I'm a watchmaker.
Now, where did
and
you
I
get the
wear
notion
watches.
that I'm a comedian? If your watches are as run down as my jokes, they would be unrepaired. I didn't see any necessity for applause at that remark. Don't you feel rather silly wearing 2 watches, Charlie?
2? I wear more than 2. I have quite a few here. There's your cuffling watch and your chronograph and your ring watch.
What's that, my chronograph?
Chronograph, it's a stopwatch.
A stopwatch?
Stopwatch. Then I have the alarm watch.
Why do you have a stopwatch? If it stopped, well, how do you know what time it is?
This is your alarm watch.
Oh, boy, he's really gone, this fellow.
Then the cuffling watch.
What is this?
The Pell watch.
The Pell watch, huh? And this?
That's a tie clasp watch.
Uh-huh.
This here is a pencil watch. And
Yeah.
a ruler on the back.
That's
Because
good. In case you're dying by inches, you have your own ruler.
Then we have a buttonhole watch.
That's a belly button watch, huh?
Well, you could call it that.
You have a watch repair shop, Charlie?
Yes, sir, in good old Long Beach, California. It's Snow's Clock Laboratory, Watch and Clock Laboratory. And we're at 1639 East Anaheim Street.
Well, I doubt very much if anybody here is going down to Long Beach to get a watch broken. Now, do you have any other unusual watches on you?
I do, Groucho. I have a few more in my pockets. I'll give you a fast flash on them. This is my cigarette lighter watch.
You must weigh fully dressed around 300 pounds.
My money clip watch. This is my pocket knife watch.
How is it you haven't got Big Ben on you?
Oh, I've got a couple of Big Bens.
You have?
Yes, sir. This one
Where
I
are
made
they, yeah?
about 35 years ago at Bridgeport, Connecticut.
That's very nice, too. Now, Charlie, I'd say that you have more ticks on you than a two-bit flop house. Celador, before I snap my mainspring, I think I better get back to you. Now, you know your name sounds sort of familiar. Celador. Haven't I heard of that name before? Celador.
You might have, Groucho. I was on the $64,000 question program.
Really? Is that so?
Yes.
And did you win any money?
No, I missed the $32,000 question, but I got a car.
What sort of work do you do, Celador?
I'm a modern poet.
A modern poet.
Modern poet.
You mean like Parker, Dorothy Parker?
Well, I like to think
Beyond
of myself.
that, I mean...
I like to think of myself
Ezra
sort of as a
Pound?
modern Elizabeth Browning.
Well, that's not so modern.
Well, I mean, I...
Well, can you make a living as a writing poetry? Could you give
Well,
us a sample?
I'm trying to. I'm a struggling poet, and I usually start out my things like this. Somewhere along the way, I picked up the idea of wanting to be a modern poet. Now, is there any place in this world for a girl poet? Lots
I think
of people
so, on the
say
freeway.
Lots of people say not, but Zappo did it. Emily did it.
Zappo did it?
Yes,
You mean my
Zappo did
brother?
it. Emily did it. Christina did it. Elizabeth did it. Edna did it.
Yes, and my Uncle Julius did it, and they hung him for it. Well, that was a beautiful poem, Celador. Sort of gets you right here. Was that a quatrain?
I haven't finished yet, Groucho.
You haven't?
No.
You have as far as I'm concerned.
I'm a Southern girl. The trouble with me is I've
Now,
had
is
too
this
many
part of the poem,
Yes.
or are we back in conversation?
No, this is part of the poem.
It's very difficult to distinguish between your ordinary conversation and the poem.
Well, that's because it's so near to my heart, so
Uh-huh.
near and dear to my
Well,
heart.
go ahead. Keep it clean.
Of course, I'm not very experienced. It isn't that I haven't had a rich, full life. I have known a few pains and a few joys, but there is so much that I haven't experienced. Why, I've never been struck by lightning nor shook by an earthquake, and I've never even been kissed by anyone over 40.
That's a challenge if I ever heard one.
The trouble with me, Groucho, is that I'm a Southern girl. I've had too many chaperones in my life, but this world is filled with 1,000 exciting stimuli, and yet so much has not come my way. I am not very experienced.
No, you will be before the night's over. I hate to put an end to this conversation, but the time flies. Now we're going to play You Bet Your Life. These are names of well-known animals. The letters are all scrambled, and I want you to take a look, unscramble the letters, and then tell me the right name for the animal. Get 4 right in a row, and you win $1,000. Miss 2 in a row, and you're out. All right, George, let's have the first one.
Here it is.
This is an animal. Now you have to unscramble it. You know, it's like those...
Chipmunk.
I'm all right. How are you?
You now have one right.
Porcupine.
Now, don't fool around with this fella. He has a very
Porcupine.
point... that's right.
You now have 2 right.
Show it him. Show it him, George. This one has got a hard back and makes a novel lady's handbag.
I can think of him at home, but I can't think of him here.
Well, it's an armadillo.
Oh,
You now have 1 wrong.
Now, this one has a long, thin tail. He likes to play a certain game. And the name here is Samosop. Now, what is the actual name of the animal?
Possum.
That's right. Now you have one right. Now show him the thing.
Here it is.
This is Why Last Pup. The only place where you'll find this animal outside of a few zoos is in Australia.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo?
Well, it's too late. It's a platypus.
You now have one wrong.
All right, now this word's here, this is heap lint. And this one likes peanuts. Now, what is the name of the animal? This one likes peanuts. What?
Elephant.
Elephant is right.
You now have one right.
Now, this sign says, a moth soup pip. This one sometimes is called a river horse. In fact, that's what his name means in English. But I guess it's the Latin name. Well, it's hippopotamus.
You now have one wrong.
We just don't know.
Now, the name of this says red bag. Now, this is a tough customer when he's cornered. What is it? This is a tough customer when he's cornered.
Give up.
The badger.
Oh, the badger.
And that's two in a row wrong.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Tunero, so you're all through. However, we don't want you to go away broke. So here's a chance to make 100. No help, please. This is tough. What public office was held by Mayor Jimmy Walker?
He was
The mayor of good old New York.
That's right. He was the governor of Pennsylvania. That's right. We're sorry he didn't win more, but thanks, Celador, for being on the show. It was a lovely poet.
Thank you, Groucho.
Good night, Shorty.
This is the California desert, a real desert of deep, loose sand, treacherous, soft shoulders, blistering heat. And this is a lovely 1954 DeSoto Automatic on the desert road. Now watch. We're driving this DeSoto Automatic out into the sand. In an ordinary car, it would be almost impossible to move or steer in this type of sand. Watch this, though. The world's newest and finest fully automatic transmission, Power Flight transmission, lets the DeSoto Automatic accelerate smoothly, steadily, evenly with great power, even here. And steering is simple, even through heavy, treacherous sand, with DeSoto full-time power steering. The power steering that works for you all the time, makes turning the steering wheel as easy as dialing a phone. There are hundreds of reasons why this lovely 1954 DeSoto deserves the name automatic. Reasons you should discover for yourself. Go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealer soon. See and drive the beautiful, stylish, distinctive 1954 DeSoto Automatic. It's available in two full series, the mighty 170 horsepower Fire Dome 8 and the brilliant Power Master 6. Convince yourself that this year, DeSoto puts you ahead automatically.
Groucho, we have a couple of special guests waiting to speak to you. One is a friend of yours, Patricia Cutts, and her partner is a very popular football coach at Stanford University, Jack Curtis. So, folks, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. You divide an extra $100 if you say the secret word. It's a common word, something you see every day, I presume. Now, Pat, I don't know you as well as I'd like to, or as I expect to, so you'll pardon me for asking you some personal questions. First of all, I know you're from London, Pat. Now, which part of you is from London?
Which part of me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was born in London, and I was born in the sound of Bow Bells, which
What
makes
are-
you a Cockney, you know, if you're born in the sound of Bow Bells.
Does it? What are
And
Bow Bells?
Well, there's some bells in Bow.
Do you remember where I first saw you?
Yes, indeed I do.
Where was it?
Well, you saw me on television, and do you remember you wrote that very nice thing about me? You said that I was the best thing on television.
That's true.
Thank you.
And I haven't changed my mind either. Pat, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, so don't go away.
Okay.
I want to talk to Mr. Curtis. That's you, Jack?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Your football team at Stanford is considered one of the best known in America, and there's a lot I'd like to ask you about the fine job you did last fall. First of all, how did you do last year?
Well, Mr. Mark sounds like there's some alumni in the audience, but we won 2 tough ones and lost a lot of close ones, 8 of them.
You won 2 and lost 8?
Yes, sir.
Well, is there something else we can discuss here? And there's no point in keeping this up.
Well,
What else can we talk about?
we might talk about the past, but that's a sign of old age, I suppose.
Not necessarily.
I had a pretty good record prior to coming to Stanford. We
At what? With the police?
No, not necessarily, but while in Texas, we did lead the nation in the running game for 2 years, and at University of Utah, we led the nation in passing.
Uh-huh. Did Stanford lead the nation last year? And
Yes, sir, we certainly did. We led the nation academically. All of the boys that came out for athletics are going to graduate, and I believe that's one of the finest records of any school that I know.
Pat, you've been in Hollywood for some time now, and you're a very pretty girl. I've seen you in a lot of movies, you know, and TV shows and plays, and you're a good actress, too. But I want to ask you a question. Do you have any problem with the local wolves out here?
No, I think anybody who's over 21, any woman over 21 can handle any wolf.
Suppose the wolf is also 21 or over. You don't care for wolves, is that right, Pat?
No, I think it's rather boorish for anybody to make a pass at a girl and she...
Don't mention pass in front of him, huh? He hasn't seen one all season. Well, you're a real nice guy, and we've kidded you, but you are a great coach, and I admire you. You can't win all your games. Somebody has to lose, but tell me something. Why does it always have to be Stanford?
That's a hard one to answer.
Well, they've had some great teams up there. Well,
Yes,
that
sir.
was years ago, but... well, you're both real charmers, and I think you're crazy if you don't get married. You selected famous lovers of fact and fiction. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Whom did John Alden love?
John Alden.
Alden. Told you not to be born in England.
Wish I'd done sports. Do you know? Great.
Take a guess if you don't know.
Well, that's fine.
It was Priscilla.
Oh.
Well, that's part
what?
of American history, and you probably
He was one of the
weren't
early
familiar with
settlers.
that. Yeah.
Was he?
You're one of the early settlers, yes.
Are you, you have one wrong now.
So what happens now?
Well, don't get the next one wrong,
Oh.
or the game is over for you.
In the song, Frankie and who were lovers?
Frankie and Johnny.
Frankie and Johnny is right.
Well, now you have one right.
As far as we know, who was Mark Antony's big moment?
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra.
You now have 2 right.
Now, who was Tom Sawyer's sweetheart?
Betsy, what's her name? Betsy. What was it? Yeah.
You don't know
Betsy
yet.
something. Betsy something, wasn't it? Eh?
I'd love to help you, Pat. You're so pretty. Well, it was Becky Thatcher.
Tom Sawyer's almost Becky Thatcher.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have one wrong.
You want to know where Tom Sawyer coaches, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Whom did the biblical King David love?
Salome?
I believe.
Did you know your Bible?
Why, sure.
Should we try Salome?
Yeah.
Salome? No, that wasn't Sheba. Can we count that?
Well, don't look at me.
As soon as I said that.
Don't look at me.
Who do I look at?
You want to give it on?
Bathsheba.
You now have one right.
Oh,
In Wagner's opera, whom does Tristan love?
Isolde.
Isolde.
You now have 2 right.
In the Gershwin musical, whom does Porgy love?
Bess.
Bess.
You now have 3 right.
You're right up your alley now.
If you get the next one right, you'll have $1,000.
Who is Popeye's lady love?
Oh, my Lord, I ought to know that one. Papa and,
No, I'm not ready yet.
We're not ready, but the bell is ready. Huh?
holy mackerel.
Violet? Well, it wasn't a bad
You should have known that. You went to college. It's olive oil.
Oh, olive oil, yes.
we're back to one wrong again.
Whom did Elaine, the lily maid of Astolat, love?
The what?
Whom? Please don't make me repeat it, huh? Whom did Elaine, the lily maid of Astolat, love?
Oh, that was the Tennyson poem, wasn't it? Of course.
Yeah.
It was King Arthur. Wait a minute. Don't you know? Was it Lancelot?
Lancelot is right.
Oh,
Now you're back.
Thank you.
You're back on the right track. You have one right now.
it's almost my name there. Yes.
Now, who was Ivanhoe's sweetheart?
Oh, you know, one's beginning with
Yeah,
G.
I know, but...
Gilliam, no. Rowena.
Rowena is right.
Well, you now have two right.
Who was the patient wife of Ulysses who waited many years for his return?
Penelope.
Penelope.
You now have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have your $1,000.
Oh. How are you standing up, Coach?
I'm doing real well, so we go for the one or the two.
Helen of Troy was beloved by whom?
Paris.
She's saying the last time I
Paris.
said Paris. Yes,
You got
that's
4 in a
right.
row, and you win $1,000. And you realize... I would like to inject a serious note in all this fun.
You would?
Yes. You can...
It's been deadly up to now.
You can go out there and think about coming back for a try at $5,000 or $10,000. So I guess, Groucho, you can dismiss them now.
want us to think about it?
You can go over and sit down and make up your mind, huh?
Whether you want a dependable car for that son in college, a second car for your wife's shopping trips, or a late model low mileage family car, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer can serve you. He has used cars for every purse and purpose. So if you're in the market for a good used car at a really fair price, you'll be wise to hurry to your nearby DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And when you're there, look for the used cars bearing this TV sticker. TV stands for top value. Remember, your DeSoto Plymouth dealer is the only place in town where you can get top value used cars.
Here's Patricia Cutts and Jack Curtis to give you their decision on going for the big money or not.
Well, have you decided to go ahead and take a stab at it?
Oh, I think so, sir. You know, you've got to go for the victory.
Uh-huh. How long since you've heard that word?
Hard even to spell it.
Now, you pick a number for $10,000.
You going to pick the number or I'll pick the number? You
No,
pick the number
you're
last.
each going to pick a number.
Oh.
You pick one for
and I shall.
$10,000, and we put the number up here. Come on now.
7.
7, all right. Now, you pick a number for $5,000.
I'll make it 8, sir.
All right, 7 and 8. Now,
Why, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Pat, give it the wheel a turn. Well, your numbers were 7 and 8, and it landed on 10, so this question is worth $2,000. Ready? Mount McKinley is the highest point on the North American continent. For $2,000, what is the highest point on the African continent? I know you've heard of this mountain.
Oh, Mount Fiji. That's Japan.
All right, what's
Oh.
the answer?
Himalaya. Oh, come on.
Wait a minute.
What?
Don't you want to hear the answer? Have you no curiosity
no,
at all?
None at all, no.
Well, according to our source, the Encyclopedia Britannica, it's Mount Kilimanjaro, and you should have known that.
Yeah, I should have.
From the Hemingway book and no place
yeah.
else. I'm sorry you missed it, but you wind up with $500. That
Oh,
isn't too bad.
No, it doesn't make you a martyr.
Congratulations, and thanks for being
very
with us.
much.
Remember, your DeSoto dealer sells 2 great cars. The outstanding 170 horsepower DeSoto Fire Dome V8 and the beautiful 54 Plymouth. America's best buy low price car. DeSoto Plymouth.
both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
Friends, go in to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer tomorrow. And when you do, tell him Groucho sent you.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Brought to you by your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And don't forget to listen to You Bet Your Life every Wednesday night on radio.
This is George Penniman signing off with a reminder from the National Safety Council. September is Child Safety Month. So parents, teach them to cross at corners, obey signals, and look before crossing.